No problem. Hello everyone, this is the first episode of the Envious Podcast with myself and Hayden.
As well as our guest JoeBhoy. Welcome, JoeBhoy.
Nice.
So, on you go, Tony.
No problem. So we're going to outline my personal background, Joe's background, Hayden's background in the pro club scene, then we're going to address what we think are the most important topics. So Hayden, I'll let you introduce your own background first.
Basically, I haven't got much of a background personally speaking, but I have played pro clubs since it came out. I've been a bit under the radar, so to speak, but I've recently joined Envious's team, which is Tierney's team, and I'm enjoying it a lot and thoroughly. So it's a good thing to do. Basically, on to you.
Well, my background's long and extensive, to keep it short. I've been about a bit. Done midweek mainly to start with, admined a few sites, and I've ended up on VFL running my own teams, and this is where it's came to the point of I can kind of speak to more what are known as bigger names. But JoeBhoy, do you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Hi, I'm JoeBhoy. I've been playing FIFA since 1998. I've been playing pro clubs since it was introduced into FIFA. I've been on the main big sites. I've been manager, I've ran them. I've been about, they call me the old man of the scene.
You're kind of like sort of a father figure of the scene, like most people see you as that, because obviously you had your brief stint running VFL, the competitive side of VFL.
Yep, I ran that for, me and Clark ran that for probably about 18 months, maybe 2 years.
Yeah.
Eventually we stepped away from that to do things look more towards what we wanted to do with Fenix, which then took another bump in the road when we went on to do a wee bit of FE.
Okay, so obviously you're now known as Fenix JoeBhoy, and obviously you were the main one that rebranded Fenix from what it previously was. So do you want to take a little bit through that process? Because I'm someone that's went through a rebrand process, obviously, quite recently myself.
Yeah, well, when what we originally went from was Fenix OB, which was Fenix Old Boys. We came to VFL, went into, if I remember, it was VFL Watford. The team basically broke up at early seasons. Phoenix, or what we used to call as POB, basically disintegrated. Probably maybe about a year or later, I brought POB back, but me and Clark being the only original members, we decided that we would rebrand it and maybe take it a wee bit further than just a FIFA team. As I say, we had speed bumps along the way with taking on competitive and then taking on FE, which kind of slowed down the progress of what we wanted to do with Fenix. But that's basically where we went with, from Fenix to what Fenix is at the moment.
So obviously myself going from what was known as TNG to Envious, same sort of goals there. Wanting to kind of, obviously with the name TNG, touch and go football, we really couldn't go down that sort of all games route. So that's why we rebranded to Envious, more of a wholesale name. So obviously I'm assuming your goals are going to be sort of esports related going forward with different sort of games.
Yeah, the main thing is I've always wanted to build. Twitch gives me a good platform to. I always wanted to build that wee community. The Discord has done that. There's over 100 people in the Phoenix Discord, and it's all like I want like-minded people. The same with them. I've got Apex teams. We've not announced it yet, but literally took on a Fortnite team. I get people messaging me from all over the world that want to come in, whether it be FIFA, whether it be COD, whether it be CSGO. These people have only seen us doing other tweets, obviously tweeting out all the different games that we play, because I try and keep all the branches out. The main problem when you get a branch is you need, you know this if you're doing the same thing, is you can't run it all, so you need somebody that you can trust that can run that branch. But if they need anything, you're always there to help them.
Well, yeah, with Envious ourselves, well, you probably won't know much about us because we're minnows, we're kind of new to this whole scene. But there's myself, who's one of the 4 owners. We have 4 owners because I don't think it's right to have one person at the helm to a degree. Yeah, it can work, but it helps separate workload if you have 3 other people you can trust. And if something happens and you have to go away for a period, there's 3 people there that can still hold the fort.
Yeah, for sure.
So you've got myself and Hayden, who are more media sort of sides now, because management of FIFA doesn't work for me since this game doesn't suit the way I want my teams to play, and I can't find my rhythm. But then you've got Royce and Blanc, who are running the FIFA team at the moment. We've tried different things. We've tried to bring in an actual manager to manage our FIFA team. Had a variety of success, but then obviously didn't work. So now we're trying those 2 running it, while me and Hayden concentrate on media.
It does help. If I was to try and run what I've built, we've built Fenix into just now, wouldn't be able to do it. Even to the point where I always look at, like, I'll never have all the answers to all the questions. So if I have people run about me that I can bounce ideas or whatever off of, I will get something back that I might not have thought, and mix my idea, their idea, and then we'll have maybe get what the answer is.
So
yes. You go ahead. On you go.
Alright. So would you say that's down to the internal structure within Fenix, as to why you would have to take that route as such?
Yeah. The size of having the teams, you need people. You need like-minded people. That's the way I've always done. Is always try to get like-minded people that are down to earth, that don't get ruled by their ego, because egos ruin so many people. Not just on FIFA, in life.
Like our main point at Envious is the 4 owners bring in 4 different characteristics. I think personally, we've got George, who's Royce, who's a fan favourite to sort of say he's sort of the owner that everyone can go to and have a laugh with, whereas I'm not. Nobody likes to come to me to have a laugh because I'm stern. I want stuff done, and I believe in image. I'm image management pretty much. And then you've got Billy, who's sort of the person that will tell you down the line, the barrel of the gun, this is how it is. Also really approachable. Then you've got Hayden, who's just came in as owner, someone I've known of him for a while through midweek scene, but someone that's really, really good with technology side of it, and really driven, and has a lot of time, and has a lot of patience with us as well. So we've kind of got the dynamic, 4 different characteristics, I think, which balance.
Yeah, balances pretty well. So basically, the hierarchy is me and Clark, but in the running of the whole thing would be me and Clark. But then I structure it down the tree where I would have, like a team leader who would be running said teams. Then they would have their branch that would support them. The Clark people coming to me, as you say, the father figure. Most people come to me. I sit with people. I've sat with people at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, just talking about their problems. Because if they're the way I see them, if they're one of my boys, I'm there to help them. I might not be physically there to help them, but if they need to blow and vent steam, I'm there to help them.
So, should we crack on with the next subject?
Yeah, let's go for it. So, second topic of the first of the official topics that I really want to address today is the 11-man FIFA scene and the potential to go on.
So basically, whether it become a massive event within the esports scene and be as successful as likes of Ultimate Team and stuff like that. That's from FIFA, of course. So I'll kick things off, I suppose. Personally speaking, I think 11-man FIFA and its potential is huge. Like, given that you have 11 players on the pitch in real life, playing football and stuff like that. But I think it all boils down to whether they want to sponsor a teams of 11 and also how they're going to plan books for flights and stuff like that for certain events and those sort of finer details. But I don't think that stops it as such from becoming what it could become. That's just a little barrier to go over that I think could easily be dealt with. So that's my opinion on it. What about you, Tony?
Personally, this is where it's 50-50. There's some sort of elements of the community that we'll get onto later, of course, that won't happen just now. But it's got all the potential in the world. It has the potential if the game is produced to a level where one team can play low block, one team can play Guardiola ball, one can play something. If you could get a perfect football game, which is never going to happen, but if you can get that perfect football game, or as close to as possible, the numbers could be massive on it. Because you could have all these big teams competing, obviously, the esports football clubs. There's unlimited potential, as you've seen VPG do, and you've also seen VPL do with their Champions League, which we all have experience of. It's very good. JoeBhoy, your thoughts on that?
It's easiest way to say it's the closest, or it's the purest form any of us will get to being a footballer without actually being football. The pro clubs, as it could be the biggest if they could get the match engine to work for clubs. It's not built for clubs, it's built for foot. The problem is it's not built for 22 people running about the pitch. But the potential, if they got that right, whether they go and do LANs, I mean the LAN events that they talk about for foot, for talking sake, there's 80, 90, 180 people. You split that into 11-man teams, for talking sake, that could be 12-ish teams.
Yeah.
The talk of money is a non-starter for me, because you get 10 teams to go to a tournament, it's round about that number. So the talk of money is why they don't want to do it is personally because they can't make money off it. It's why you won't go for it.
I can see that route, yeah. So perhaps maybe would you consider regionals as before you would go progress to the actual finals itself, to allow them to actually have the amount of teams there in the event? So say you said 12 teams of 11, that would be like, I'm not very good at maths, but someone help me there. 120, 130 players or something.
Yep, exactly. I mean, the potential for it is there. It's just that it needs the game. They couldn't put this on the big screen. I mean, you've seen some of the stuff that happens with foot. Two guys are sitting in the same room and they're disconnecting from each other. Yeah. That happening in 11-man, the same sort of thing. There's 22 people attached to that one server. One of them go out. What are they going to do? They're going to stop the whole game and get that one person back in. It's just that sort of thing that they need to get fixed. I mean, the potential for it is massive. I mean, the thing that kind of gets me just now, I don't know if there might be something in the pipeline that EA are starting to say to these people on Twitter or these people on YouTube, because all of a sudden this year there's quite a lot of them coming out saying, only yesterday there was somebody saying that 11-man could be really good if it was pushed, and there's quite a lot of them that are saying that just now.
So maybe it's about meeting EA halfway and potentially incorporating something like a 5v5 perhaps, would you say?
Personally, if they want to go 5v5, they'd be better off doing a FIFA streak. The only for me, I might be because I'm old school. The only way it'll work for me is 11v11. It's the only way you'll get the purest form of football on a video game. If they can fix the game as it is, because people complained about 18, and then we go, what is 19? And people would say we can't wait for 20. There's no guarantee that we're going to get anything that's any better than what 19 is just now.
So it's about improving the gameplay first and foremost before we take that esports route for clubs, so to speak.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Well, personally, we were playing the other night. One of the major flaws, in my opinion, of the gameplay is our DM between our halfway line and our box made 8 tackles on the boy, and he still had it.
Yeah, I've had that. We had that the other night. Made 4 tackles as a boy, and somehow our tackle managed to put the ball, sort of looped the ball over our back line after he tackled. It looped the ball over our back line, put a striker through it, and they've scored. Like, what are we meant to do? We've got to the point where you've got to laugh at it, because if you don't, you will literally drive yourself crazy.
It's frustrating to sit and see, like, personally myself, I've not put that much into the 11-man scene, but I've put a lot of work and effort into this sort of midweek site, because if we're looking at it potential-wise, midweek in the UK is where most people start off now, because people just can't jump to VFL anymore, or 11-man. Realistically, you have to start somewhere. Midweek's usually going to be most people's starting point, sort of get the grasp, and then you move up and you move up.
Yeah, well, I mean, VFL you could start anywhere, but VFL in its current format is probably at its peak, is where it's going to get to. Anything midweek, 11 man, you could go anywhere. It could still go anywhere, but VFL sort of it's at probably a glass ceiling sort of bit where it's as far as it could go.
So onto VFL as such, like, can you guys explain what VFL is to the audience so they get a better understanding of what we're talking about here?
Well, VFL is, I don't know if it is officially or not, but from my understanding, it's the biggest UK site. It's also got quite a big foreign base as well when it comes to World Cups. It's just where 9 times out of 10, if you're in a higher tier, a good higher tier, you'll play 11v11. And don't get me wrong, it is honestly one of the best community tools to online gaming. Because barring a few bad eggs in the bunch, some of the community is brilliant. It's some of the best laughs, some of the best people you'll meet. And it just diversifies everyone. Because everyone that goes, oh, gaming does nothing, oh, blah, 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 they do sit in their room, do nothing. It diversifies you so much compared to what people realise. Because you can be playing for someone from Wales, France. It's brilliant at diversifying things, I think.
There's so many people that would not buy FIFA if something like VFL wasn't a thing. VFL, VPG, VFLE, all of them. I mean, you could name VPG and VFL, they're both the main pillars that have kept the club's community going.
It's all about that community aspect, isn't it, of the game to keep
Sure.
people playing.
I mean, there's people that I'm building now, but maybe my third team in recent times, and there's people that I would never have met, never have spoke to. There's some people that are in my team that I can't get to speak. But I mean, there's these people that you just wouldn't meet them in any shape or form or any walk of life without doing what we're doing.
And that's the joys of it, really, isn't it? Like, because in real life, you wouldn't naturally, if you walk past them in the street, you wouldn't give them a glance sometimes, or you wouldn't even notice what their background is. Whereas this, you've got something that you can relate to someone else straight away, and it gives you a common ground to discuss and talk about something you both enjoy. So yeah.
Sure. I mean, every community has its good, as you said, it's good eggs and its bad eggs. After the time, the bad eggs, they basically end up getting themselves kicked out. But there isn't better. It's to sit and watch 2 people play one-on-one with each other would literally bore me to death. But you watch the excitement of, if you've watched my streams, you watch me jump about like an absolute tool. Jumping about like a madman when we've scored the goal.
Or when you fail to score a goal.
Or when you fail, yeah, that's normally my poor table that gets it. But it's that. I mean, if that's 1-on-1, I mean that's just all throughout. But see, when that you sort of feed on the energy. I mean, you're in a party. You feed on the energy of everybody around about you. You hear everybody, and sometimes even when it's not gone that well, you can actually feel the atmosphere no being that good because he's only playing well. You know, you can do a lot better. A lot. It's funny. It's a lot. It's psychology, which is quite funny.
Yeah.
There's.
Go on, Tony.
To add to that, there's so much, like, especially in 11 man, when you're pressured in a pass and you make the mistake, you can, like you said, the atmosphere just drops. You feel it straight away. If there's a bad pass, you can just feel everyone sigh, or you've made the mistake that's cost a goal. It's massive. It's like you're playing a real life game. It is unreal how much camaraderie is in it when you're winning, and how much is in it when you're losing, and how well a team diversifies. If you understand what I mean.
For sure. It's one thing you'll notice is if a team's laughing, they're normally getting the results. It's when a team turns things too serious is when things can start going to be. But as long as the way I've always found it, I've been doing it long enough, is you get everybody in the party laughing, relaxed, and going, but in a serious attitude, depending on who you're playing, then it would normally go quite well.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, so on that subject as such, what about the toxicity of the pro club scene? Because like there's quite a few players out there that don't understand or that the joys of clubs as such, and then they try to use it to gain an upper hand on other people or so on and so forth, and they just switch between clubs and all that nonsense. So what's your opinions on it, Joey?
I mean, there's a lot that I don't know where to start, to be honest, because I mean, you've probably seen me in chat giving them all both barrels, and the way I always do it is with my teams. I will look at somebody, and it'll be 60% attitude, 40% how to play the game. I can always help somebody to get better at the game. We play the game, you'll help them get better, as long as they can take instruction and whatnot. If somebody is, I don't want to swear, if somebody is a bad apple, you can't undo that bad apple. That's a society problem. You can't undo that. But to get somebody gone in the game, I'll always look at more attitude than their gameplay. I always give a lot of unknowns a chance, because I do like finding diamonds. I'm not going to lie. I do like finding them and giving them the platform to play, and it's why I do bang heads with quite a lot of them in that chat, because they know they wouldn't get a chance or they wouldn't last very long in somewhere like Fenix, and I think that's why Fenix is always forever in their mouse and when they're in that chat.
Yeah, you get the haters as such, don't you? They either want to join or they want to be a part of something that's great, and they can't get part of something because of their attitudes, and then they take it out on other people.
I mean, there's so many good people that have been poisoned. Would that be the right word? We've been turned poisoned, and because of the people that they've associated themselves with, they've became that way.
So, would you say that's led to loads of clubs disbanding and then be re-emerging, or perhaps just disbanding altogether, like the toxicity within the community?
Well, most egos can't take a beating, so they'll fold, come back a week later as somebody else, and then they'll have another couple of good sessions, and then they'll have one bad session, and then they'll fold, which I think is another reason that the teams like Envious, teams like Unity, teams like Fenix, that have even Class and Lucid to an extent, they do get a lot of stuff through at them because they don't fold. They just keep carrying on. No matter what happens that night, they'll carry on. There is teams that will come and go constantly because the Eagles can't take a defeat.
Well, that's literally, we've been speaking about this for months, like sort of silently in parties. But I'm not going to name drop, but there's a certain team going about at the moment that are itchy switchy on their name to say, I think if you know what I'm on about, you will. But they've went as this name, switched to another name, switched back 3 times now, 3 or 4 times. Because they got something happened to them in a tournament that they weren't happy with. Then they got beat one night live on one of their streams, and now they're going back to an old name because they got beat live on one of their streams.
So it's just about keeping that, I suppose they want to keep that reputation up as such when they don't feel like whenever they suffer defeat, they feel the need to rebrand or rename themselves or whatever it is, rather than...
I mean, this isn't a new problem. This was a problem that was back in the day was always a thing as well. Teams would fold. Don't get me wrong, there was a lot more teams that would stick about, but there was still teams that would come go. But this day and age, it's the British mentality of they're entitled to win every game. They're not allowed to lose a game, which is where I think this sort of nonsense has came from.
Yeah. So it's like the whole, when you're playing pro clubs and you create a club, and then it's like you want to go for a record, and then as soon as you get your first loss, you disband the club and start again. It's just like, I don't understand that mentality at all.
But it's absolutely bonkers. See, when you look at the mentality, but you look at the mentality of, obviously, I've ran FE and I've ran VFL competitive. When I ran that, it was the foreign teams from the German, the Russian, the French, the Spanish, the Italian. When they were my fallback teams. I could go to them and they'd be like, Joe, you're doing a tournament, let me know when it is and I'll be there, or we'll be there. Not a problem. They'd come that night, they'd sign their players up, they'd play the game, they'd win, they'd lose, they'd carry on. The British teams, on the other hand, constant problems, forever wanting to cause mischief, fights, whatever, for whatever reason. I mean, we had one guy, I'll not even name him, but when I say this, and if he listens to it, he'll know exactly who I'm talking about. I had one guy that wanted to be known, still wants to be known as the most hated man in pro clubs. Why? I have absolutely no idea, but he's no far off it, to be honest, because everybody does always give him a lot of stick because of the way he is.
So
That's a British thing, and I don't understand that mentality.
Go on, Tony, what were you going to say?
I don't agree where he's coming from, right? Don't go out and be hated. You're either doing that because you're seeking something within yourself. You want to feel wanted. That's what it seems like he's coming across as. Don't know the guy, don't know who you're speaking about. I have inklings to who it is, but I've never spoke to the person if it's the right person. But it just seems like he wants to be known. I don't know, I don't understand that. Why would you want to be known as the most hated person? Nobody's going to take you on after a certain stage. There's going to be nowhere for you to go.
Well, he's a manager. That'll give you a clue why I don't understand why. I don't actually know why you'd want that tag. But I mean, it's just that's a mentality. It's a British thing for me. I mean, I've dealt with so many different foreign teams, and then they would come and it would be the same. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he'd try to deal with the Russian Bears, to name a team. The Russian Bears, and Dench was his name. The guy I used to deal with. So hard to deal with, and speaking in broken English. But such a gentleman, always like, you run tournament, we be right in, one of the first ones I always want to play. They would turn up and take battering after battering after battering, and would they, right, okay, just tell me when your next one is, we'll be there, sign us up. Didn't care. If that is a British team, Jesus, no, it's not happening.
They wouldn't be there after the beating, they just stopped playing.
Well, I'll tell you one thing what British teams done in a tournament, and they go, obviously, a nice tournament ban or two. They lost the first two games, never turned up for the third group game, and it cost the team they were playing against a place in the knockouts because of goal difference.
Oh man.
Now, what could I do about that? Absolutely nothing, other than hammer the team that decided they weren't going to play the third group game because, well, we're no. I mean, they lost their games narrowly, and it annoyed the life out of me because these people don't care that, not just me, I had an admin team of 4, 5, 6 people, and these people would spend late nights sorting a doc, getting teams, talking to managers. I mean, everything. People don't understand the prep that goes into running a tournament like that, and these people would just poo-poo it at the first chance that they got.
That, like, as someone that's came from an admin background, that is the most frustrating thing ever that happens. It kills a bit of you inside. Because I used to come home from, well, at the time I was at school and college. Come home from that, and literally I'd spend 7-8 hours either finding managers, making sure managers were okay, checking rosters, doing stats, trying to find a new manager for the next day, school, repeat. And it's mentally draining for the people that have to do it. But you do it because you want that community to be there.
That was why we done VFLC. I mean, before me and Clark done VFLC, we started, I don't know if any of you remember this, we done VHL, which was virtual hockey.
Yeah.
I think it was like that we done that, and that was all a giggle. It was hilarious. The game was free on the EA Pass. But when that game ran out, we knew nobody's going to buy the game. So what we done was then we retained the license and whatever we had for the website, and we flipped it and we turned it into VFL competitive, which was then, right, we'll take this forward. The longer we done that, and the 11-man Toxicity came in, it grated on us. It grated on the 2 years for so long, and it was just, it got to the point where I'm not interested in doing it for the community, because the community are not interested in helping itself. Why is somebody going to waste its time, which is new, why I am building Fenix the way I'm building it, into a community of like-minded people that they want to do these things. I mean, there's 125 people or something in the Fenix Discord that do. Anybody wants to find a game, I mean, it's a like same-minded people that are getting into Fortnite games, get into Apex games, and the chats are always booming and bouncing. But the clubs community would rather fight itself. I mean, I'm all for the banter, but see the way some of it goes, it's way too far. I mean, some of the stuff that Andy said, I don't know if you remember them passing pictures about of Andy, who's another, he's like me, he's one of the old guard, he's older than me, he's been probably,
Yeah.
He had pictures of him being passed about WhatsApp groups and whatever else groups, and just like, there's a point where it needs to stop. There's a point where people need to go, right, okay, like, that's a wee bit too far, it's not even banter anymore.
Well, I'm going to sort of build on that point. I don't know if you've seen, not going to name names, but there was a situation recently with a well-known VFL player and a less-known VFL player, and the less-known VFL player going after the bigger one, but they didn't just leave it at the bigger one, they brought their kids into it. That is completely out of order. Fair enough, hate the man, hate whatever, but you don't bring his kids into it and publicly do it.
That happened. What day is this? That happened 2 days ago in the Discord, in the FE Discord, and I had to basically, enough's enough. If you want me a word, and I'll just take you out the Discord, just because things like that are just no needed and no wanted. But as I say, it's a society problem. It's people keep saying it's a FIFA, it's a club's problem, but you could it's a society problem more than a club's problem, because you'll never fix it through clubs.
It's all in all breadths of life, really, isn't it? Like, whatever you're doing, there's always going to be those toxic people that want to get a thrill out of doing something that's not productive as such. And
yeah, for sure. And these same people wouldn't say boo to you if you were standing face to face with them.
Yeah.
It's so dumb. Like, one of my best experiences, right, honestly, was on VFL. I got taken. I trialed for Scotland, not the most recent one. I think it was season 32, maybe, somewhere along that line. Season 32, I don't know. It was before season 33. I tried for Scotland in the World Cup at left mid. Didn't make it. But Farman picked me out and went, you're actually alright. Gave him a shot at Roma. I met Peg, I met AJ, I met Diego, Liam, Fisky and all that. I still message Peg every so often and speak to them. What a great laugh that season was, even though I had the dodgiest connection on the planet. But it's been left back for them. That genuinely kept me going with clubs. Because at that point I was ready to quit. Just go, sack it. This is just not for me. This is too much going on. You get DMs because it was live on stream. They seen my gamer tag and people were messaging me, you're shit, you're crap, you're this, that. Go die, I think was one of the messages I got off someone. Because I played clubs. And I played bad in a Scotland trial.
Yeah, I get the same. I mean, I've got to turn my notifications off because of that very thing. I couldn't keep them on, because see, by the time I've finished a session and I'll go press the middle button and I'll go and look at messages, there could be 2 or 3 messages sitting there, and some of them you can't even put on stream. Some of them are just like, what is the need? Even on DMs and Twitter, I get, it's just like, is there much need? What?
It's an embarrassment, man.
It's crazy. It's the community, or as you say, I try and defend the community in a way, saying it's not a FIFA community problem, it's a social problem. But I mean, I call it a British problem because I don't see many foreign. I mean, I've got a lot of the Reborn boys on my stuff. I've got all of the Hypnotize, Miriam, Oira. I mean, some of the stuff that not that lot. I mean, this stuff where the pro height stuff that's going on. The pro build's not allowed above a certain height. Some of that nonsense that's going on in the chats, I've had to fight the corner of the people that don't want to. I don't have to, but I don't like bullies. And the way the people have been coming to me and saying, I don't think we should be doing it, I don't think this, I don't think that. Anytime these people, or they've seen somebody raise their head to go against the grain of what, as I'll call the elites, want, they get shouted down by everybody else in the chat that wants to be in the elite group, as I like to call them. It's absolutely bonkers. And that's how I end up, as you've probably seen in the chat, blowing up a couple of times and just start throwing spanners in the work and asking questions that they cannot answer. Like, tell me what is going to make this a success or a failure. Can't give me an answer. Not one of them. Apart from it, I'll give Andy's due. Andy eventually gave me an answer on Twitter yesterday, or maybe 2 days ago, saying it makes the game more fun. Right, well that's it. You're calling people, was it clueless or brainless or something we call them, but because their opinion was different from his. But then my argument to him was, well, maybe that doesn't make the game more fun for them. It just makes it the same. It doesn't make it any more or less fun. So how does that make their opinion clueless or whatever? I can't remember what you call them, but it's bonkers. But that was that period of that back and forth. Everybody do it, don't do it was really getting on my goat, because anybody that spoke out against it got shouted down from the highest height.
So, that kind of leads us on nicely to the topic anyway, height restrictions. But the also thing is, I'm not going to lie, the other night on VPL, that we got asked by Nasty, do we want to play height restrictions? We said yes for one reason and one reason only, and you know fine well why we would have said yes, JoeBhoy, I think.
I call it the Tigo tactic.
Yeah. Because I was not having it. That is, honestly, as much as I hate it, that is one of the best uses of being a dual winger that there is. It's just, it's so hard to defend against.
It's literally, we played against Nasty in the VPL League. I think it was the first night. Now, it was the second game. Now, Hatton and who was the other one? Kai came in and watched us play Wonder Kids. Now, we dismantled Wonder Kids 4-1. They watched how we played, and Hatton, Kai, and somebody else, can't remember the other one, came into my stream after the game and admitted that they changed their tactics and formation to play against us because they watched what we done to Wonder Kids. And Paddy was playing 6 foot, played against Tigo at 6'6", get christened every single time in the air, every time. They beat us 3-0, and I think, I mean, it got to the point where I don't go against anybody that uses that tactic, because I see it as a tactic, others see it as a glitch. It's down to us as a team to defend against it. We unfortunately did not expect Nasty to do it, because they always talk about carpet football, so we didn't expect them to do it, and then they did do it. So, as I say, I wouldn't chastise or give them as a tactic that they used well. They beat us 3-0, and my wee brother turned into Gary Neville the day after and went and watched the game back and literally broke the game down clip by clip, and how many times they used that tactic, and how I've already said, talking to Animal, how I tactically got the game wrong. Never seen it quick enough. If I had changed their tactics, we could have possibly beat them. But I didn't change their tactics. I kept telling us to press. And as soon as I told us to press, they done that big punt at Tigo. Tigo played it right at everybody else. There you go, 3-0.
It's one, I'm going to give it to Nasty. As much as they're going to go about carpet football, that's a completely other argument. That's also something that's touched on the community very hard, I think. But that is one of the best outballs I've seen a team actually do, and so clever to counter a high press. Because usually, if a team gets a high press on, it's hard to get out of. If you break it, it can destroy them. And Tigo's done that.
It is the only way out is to either go long into a midfielder or a striker, or the way Tigo does it. I mean, that's why I call it the Tigo tactic, because this sort of tactic's been going on for probably about 2 or 3 FIFAs, but this FIFA has been more potent, it's been more noticed, and it's only been brought up because, well, somebody taking a beating of Nasty, and that was the way Nasty played and obviously got it. The reason I christened it the Tigo tactic was because he was the poor guy that kept getting named in the chat when they were talking about it. So it's the easiest way when you're playing against it to say, right, you know what they're going to do. Tigo tactic, everybody in my team knows exactly what they need to do if that tactic is getting employed.
Yeah.
I heard what you were saying, and that sounded like Bielsa-esque right there, of like spying on your opponent and then importing some tactics to combat what they do.
I mean, Hatton and Kai came in and basically apologised, and I'm like, don't apologise. I mean, that is, you played a tactic that totally caught us off guard because we didn't expect it, and they probably knew that we weren't going to expect them to do it. I mean, we played them, I think it was about 2-3 weeks before, in the last game of the VPL, and whoever won it was going to pick up the title. And I think we beat them, I think it was 1-0, I can't remember the score, but we beat them and we won the title. But two of the teams tried to play through each other. We tried to press each other, and we came out on top. And then obviously they watched us against Wonder Kids, seen we were having a good night, and thought, well, they know how we're pressing. Let's beat their press by using Tigo, which again is fair. I'm not going to complain because I can't complain with the amount of times I've been saying in the chat. If somebody wants to buy the game and play 6-6, who is anybody else to tell them no idea?
So you agree with the fact that it does kill the game from having variation, the height restriction rules within the VFLE?
Yes and no. I mean, I can understand why people don't want it, but at the same time, I kind of enjoy playing against it because it's if we are watching we'll just say 10 teams in a league and they're all playing the exact same way, it would get pretty boring pretty quick.
Yeah.
Now, you've got teams that can press well, you've got teams that can pass well. If you've got a team that can press and pass, the team that can't pass that well, isn't he going to try and pass through a team they know is going to press them into the ground? That would be basically suicide in a match. So see when you get teams complaining, he's the Aussies Day's long ball, it's a tactic. It's a tactic that you have to beat. If their long ball tactic is beating your back line, that's your failing. No, they're failing for using a long ball.
What's your thoughts on that, Tierney? Do you reckon it breaks what the point of the game is, or do you feel like it's required?
Obviously, and you know my strong feelings towards it. I think it's a joke. I'm not going to deny it. I'm probably going to get slaughtered for saying it's a joke. But, hey-ho. I think clubs should be as close to real-life football. It's like the Premier League going to Peter Crouch tomorrow and go, sorry, pal, you can't play in this league because you're above 6 foot. What? If you're playing a 2 up top, and JoeBhoy, you being a Celtic fan, of course, do you remember the Strachan era very well?
Oh yes, Venegoor and McDonald.
Big man, small man.
Larson and Sutton.
Big man,
small man.
No, but it's literally there. Sam Ross Hooper, big man, small man, under Lennon.
I mean, I can understand bringing in restrictions for the wide midfielder.
Yeah, because
if a team is constantly using that, I mean, when we played Nasty that night, they used that 9 different times in one game. That can get... I mean, don't get me wrong, it was my fault for no switching on quicker to telling the boys to stop pressing them when they were literally dropping to their 18-yard line. They dropped to their goal line. The back three were that close to their goalkeeper. But I do understand with that. I could understand people saying, look, bring the wide men down. But the rest of the team, the rest of them, I don't see... If anything, it could make teams go longer more because new defenders, centre-backs, are at a disadvantage playing against 6'2", 6 foot strikers, and they're only going to... I'll happily play 6'1" if I could, if it works. As I would love to go back to 6'1", which was my build for years, 6'1", and then had to go 6'4" to combat the 6'6" centre-backs, as much as they drive me nuts. But, I mean, if somebody wants to use it, I mean, who's anybody to tell them no to use it?
The only man that I've seen psycho enough to play small centre-back was Mono. Oh my god, I think he played 5'11" at one stage. He was just an animal.
I played against a boy last season at Middlesbrough. Arguably one of the best centre-backs. Can play 6'6", he can play... I watched them play 5'10" in centre-back and we did not lay a glove on him. And it was...
I think that's Mono, isn't it?
No, it wasn't Mono, it was Chrissy. WF Chrissy. He played 5'10", 5'11" in centre-back and literally strolled the game. See, the thing is about 6'6" centre-backs, see, even though you've got the height advantage, you still have to be quick enough to read the play, to not get caught in behind or wide balls and whatever. If you're playing that big, you have to be good at reading the game. So they would be arguably better at that playing smaller. Obviously, they don't have the advantage of winning every single header. But even at that, they don't win every single header. Because I've watched Parisi, my striker, play 6 foot and he was winning headers. When we said we'll play the restrictions, we went into a search match like fools and found a team that was playing 6'6". Quite a lot of them. And we were all under. So it was fun defending corners and trying to win them. But I was watching see the mechanics of the game. If your player can get a run on the person, 9 times out of 10, you win the header.
Yeah, so to develop on the mechanics of the game as such, do you reckon the structure of pro clubs in itself, like being able to customise your attributes and such, should be changed, or do you reckon that could be just left well alone and just keep it as it is? Because, like, say you've got like 90 sprint speed and all that good stuff, but do you want to be able to have a certain play style to adapt to, like playmaker, box to box, all those sort of things? Would you rather them return? Or would you?
I definitely would. I would like all that to come, because that gives you
variation
of what your player is. Even I've lost the train of thought where I was going with that
there.
Going down the lines of, like, well, you don't have one sort of centre back. You have a sweeper. You have a ball player. You have a no nonsense.
Yeah.
You have.
I think a game that does it perfectly is NBA. Like, they allow you to. I know it's got microtransactions involved, but like I think they allow you to, as far as I'm aware, you can spend points to level up certain attributes, such as your key attributes within your player, and then it allows you to go towards a certain play style, and you can create multiple saves to allow you to do different play styles. If you
that was basically where I was going with, and that's where I lost the train of thought. But see, if EA wanted to make money to make the game mode, so they would spend more time on the game mode, that is where they need to look to go. This is where 2K have went with their game. You could do so much you could add to them. You could have the tattoo. I mean, for me personally, I'd be happy with a game that worked. Everybody else is saying they want the menus changed, they want tattoos added, they want this, they want that. I'd be happy with a game that worked first and foremost, and then go from there. Gameplay for sure, and then go from wherever.
Hallelujah. Can somebody speak some sense, man? The amount of people I've heard is, oh, but we've had the same menus for 2 years. Doesn't matter, they work.
Well, they don't work very effectively, but yeah, I get your point.
I mean, we sat with a game last FIFA, was it? Or the beginning of last FIFA, that we couldn't even get games played. EA was telling us there's nothing wrong with it, it's on your end, though this is going to be an exaggerated number, but 50,000 people are messaging them saying, we can't get into a game, it's not us, it's you. There can't be X amount of people that's having the exact same problem for them then to eventually admit, oh wait a minute, it might be us, try this, oh try that. It still wasn't. I mean, we sat from, what was it September to January, I think it was, maybe even longer, before we got clubs friendlies fixed.
If I remember rightly, it was February, the VFL halfway through February, so it could have been early February it got fixed. Late January, early February.
If there was a game or a maker out there, whether it be 2K, whether it be anybody, that actually thought, well, there's a market here we could get into, EA would actually be in trouble.
Yeah, I think they would be under threats considerably if there was another company that could compete with them as such. Like there's Konami with PES, but they keep making mistakes of their own, so they don't really justify a reason to spend money on that game. But that's my opinion anyway, so I don't know what your opinions are on PES. Any ideas?
PES I don't like. I just feel PES is too cartoon.
Arcadey?
Yeah, that's a better word. But fuck's arcadey in its own right.
But you say arcadey, you think of FIFA, I don't know what ones you started
12,
on, just say 12, 13, 14. They were arcadey. See, the closer the EA try to get the game to realism, the further away from fun they take the game.
So it's getting the balance of realism as well as the arcade nature in games, and getting the best of both to make the best game gameplay wise. Do you think?
In my opinion, EA need to look at, do they want a game that they can use for esports, or do they want a game that they want realism to be as real as possible? Or do they want something in the middle? Because the further they go to this realism, the further away it gets from what can be seen as an esports. Some of the things that you see daily on Twitter of glitches and crazy things happening, where I watched somebody the other day, his centre back went to play in goals and his goalkeeper came in centre back. Like, what is that? Imagine that happening at an event for somebody that's playing for hundreds of thousands of pounds. That would be just, what is going on?
Hayden, do you remember when that happened to Ali? Were you in that time? Right, Joe, here's a story. We were playing sort of small man, sort of the breach between small man, medium man, not quite 11, not quite small, sort of that weird sort of ground where I don't class as small man anymore because there's like 9 of you on, but you're not 11.
Yeah.
We're playing that, and we had our striker, and then our other striker was in it, and our other striker didn't spawn in, right? So he was just sitting there. Do you know what he was? On the bench.
It's madness what glitches they allow to break through into the game, isn't it? And then they have to fix
I've
later.
seen us go into a game. I think this was actually the beginning of this FIFA. Went into a game, and Tiki was like, "Oh, I'm not playing well." Tiki somehow managed to spawn in the other team. How, we have no idea. I mean, it's just if they want it to be an esports, they might need to go back to. I mean, people say 12, 13, 14. I mean, I've watched videos only recently, and it was FIFA 15. The gameplay is so much faster. The pitch looks so much bigger, and there is next to no 6 foot plus people. Everybody's playing their height, their build that they want to play. They're not playing a specific build that's going to, as some people say, break the game or get them an advantage on the pitch.
I think, personally, the only position that isn't completely broke with heights is probably their centre-back or full-back to a degree. Yes, you get your 6'6"s, but there's massive downsides to 6'6". Your turning range is literally, you have to run around the whole tree to get to the other side of the man.
And so you can't have like your Messi builds, your Ozil builds, your all different types of players that you would get in real life. You just can't do it in pro clubs as such, can you? Which reminds me of like there was an online team play mode. Do you guys remember that?
Oh no. You love this. You genuinely love this.
Yeah, where you got to be like an actual footballer and you could pick their position, and then say Fulham, you would be, if you went goalkeeper, it would be whoever Fulham's goalkeeper was at the time, and then you'd play against.
That was the original. That was the original clubs at the time. I remember. I don't know if you're old enough to remember. Any you remember YFL? That was that very thing where you went into a clubs game and you were controlling a specific player of a.
Yeah, would you say that's better than going pro clubs, or would you say pro clubs is better to be as someone who you want to be as yourself, maybe, or as a footballer, and having that customization?
Me personally, I like the customization. But the way customizations went, there isn't very much variety. As you say, there's centre backs that are all 6'6". All the centre backs are all 6'6". So anybody that says, "Oh, they're gaining an advantage," nobody's gaining an advantage because every centre back's playing 6'6", except me, because I point blank refuse to date on principle. The highest I will go is 6'4".
I play 6'4" to 6'2".
Yeah.
Now, when we're doing the restriction stuff, I'm back doing 6'1", happy. Even sometimes I'm 6 foot. But just the mobility you get is frightening. But the customization I do like, because if somebody wants to be a said player, like I've got Cheeky who changes his pro nightly, daily, from one person, whether it be Ronaldinho to Messi, he changes it nearly every night. There's some people that will be like Royce, like Tiki's always got Royce now. Me personally, in Obi, I am me, hence why I run about with grey hair, because I'm the old man. But it's just the way I prefer it. Is I would have it as me, because see, if it ever does get to any sort of land state for toxic, then everybody will be themselves. They will not be a Messi. They won't be a Ronaldo. They'll not be a Royce. I guarantee everybody would have their pro looking. Well, you will get the odd person that will probably run about with a pink afro, with a really mashed up face, to be fair. But I mean, that's probably a reason they don't want to take it, because that makes a bit of a mockery of the game.
Yeah. So, would you say, like, representing yourself in the land sort of side of things is what people are aiming to do, like, rather than, say, be like a Messi figure and such, or like replica of one of their inspirations? And
I would think so. Most would change to them rather than That's why I've never had a gamer tag or really been a pro in the game with somebody. I mean, the most I think I've went is to Hummels. Used him for a wee while. That was because we went to Dortmund. But he's about the only one I used because we all said we would do it.
So, on to the suspicious topic as such, but like, it's all about Ultimate Team, really, isn't it? At the moment with EA and FIFA, so we have to touch it, I guess, at some point. So, the amount of time and effort spent into Ultimate Team by EA, would you say is too much at the moment?
You just have to look at how many what do you call these stupid events that they keep doing recently from promos. How many promos have they done in the last month and a half? It is absolutely ridiculous. Now we're running about with Van Dijk's that play striker, Salah's that play left back. They want realism, and that is a pure nothing else but pure unadulterated money grab. Nothing else. That is all that is, and it is absolutely shocking that people don't see that and are still ploughing money into these frauds at times, man.
Oh, I remember the days of you used to get excited on like the second Friday of every month because it was happy hour because you only got it like once a month or once a week or whatever it was. You used to sit there waiting for happy hour for a special sort of packs, and you're like, "Oh, it's done for a week, okay."
The way the game is just now. I mean, I've played Ultimate Team quite a bit this FIFA because at the beginning clubs was a bit come and go. Everybody wasn't playing, whatever. Played it a bit, but one thing I've refused today is put any money in it because EA don't deserve any more money than what you pay for the game because of the way the game is.
So, would you say that is what it is currently, a pay-to-win mentality of the game? Like, it's just paying to get the best players in Ultimate Team and then be able to compete via that route. So, would you reckon they would implement that into pro clubs if they were actually to make it an esport as such, or do you reckon they would try and balance it out?
I don't know how they could implement that in clubs. I mean, you just need to look at the beginning of this FIFA. People ploughed money in. The ones that basically get the best teams are the ones that went to the tournaments. The big LAN events that are going on in Budapest and whatever. I can't remember the other ones. All of them are. Clubs, I don't really know how they could boost unless you get stuff like maybe cards that you could put on your player that would last maybe 5 days or 5 games, sorry.
Yeah.
And then you would need to go and buy it again. It's the only way.
Boot packs.
I mean, you get packs like that. They could do stuff. I mean, you can get tattoos with it. You get hairstyles with it. You could get cards like you get an Ultimate Team like them passing. Whatever you call it, I can't remember what you call them.
Attributes.
Attribute cards, that's it. You could put them on your pro. But I could guarantee that the attribute cards would be banned in any tournament that they would put in.
Yeah.
I don't
but
want
they
that.
still want you to pay money to use them in sessions and whatnot.
It's frustrating to see like, we'll make headliners, we'll make what was it? Football or whatever it was. Carnival, that was it. The most ridiculous event ever. They just give people shiny. I'm not moaning because Timothy Weah got a Celtic card that was nice and shiny that I may or may not have.
I'm going to sound like a hypocrite here. I actually sat and played with Altador up front to get that card.
I sat and bashed it as well, don't worry. But I really wanted that Timmy Weah card. But that's just because every year I've got to have Larson, I've got to get this, I've got to get that. I won't have Larson this year because my account got hacked. I went to EA and they went, "No, you've got one black flag from 4 years ago when you were like 12 years old or something. No, we're not trusting you." So you, because I have one black flag against my name, I've just had equivalent to maybe £100 robbed off my account, and you're just wiping it. Like, really?
Sounds like you think you're done.
Because they want me to put another 100 in. You can go run. I'm not putting in. If you're not sorting out that, and I'm not putting any more in.
I refuse to put any more money in to the game. Last FIFA, I put, I think it was about £30-40 in, and that was purely because I done a charity stream with Jake Cave for Beatson. I can't remember how long it was for. I can't remember how long I streamed. It was a couple of years I streamed. And that was one of the things that I'd done on the stream. Was used all the money that I put in was to just open packs. And that was it. And that was the only time. And the only reason I'd done that was because it's for charity. But obviously the money had to go to them sausages.
So as such, would you say, with the pay-to-win mentality of Ultimate Team, how can you pay for packs and such when the server problems and the consistency of gameplay is as bad as it is now? That's my opinion. Like, I don't see how people can spend money on the game that they've already paid for full price for, and then they just get booted out of lobbies or booted out of servers, or lag spikes during games, delay during games. Like, how can you consider that logical as such?
They just don't deserve it.
It's so much like they claim, oh, we listen to our community, we listen to that. No, you don't. You don't listen to
Look
us.
at a company that listens to their community. Look at Fortnite's I can't
Yeah.
remember what the name is.
Epic.
Epic, that's
Epic
it.
Games,
Perfect.
yeah.
Epic have a problem. They are the first people on Twitter before anybody's messaged them to say servers are down and go, people, we know there's a problem, we will get it fixed. You go EA's, no, it's your problem, nothing wrong with your servers.
And the
No.
updates for the game is actually to improve the game rather than trying to fix something that's wrong with the game.
Even
That's it.
anything that they put into the game, I can't remember what it was. Was it a hammer or a sword or a plane or
Oh,
something? They put something into the game that practically made it impossible to win unless you did catch this thing. They took it out the game because so many people went, look, this needs to go. Listen to the community right away, right, we'll fix that. No problem, boys.
So it all boils down to listening to feedback from your community and actually fixing the problems that are there. Rather
The problem is who EA listen to. They have their game changers, and as you've probably heard Kurt speak so many times about the game team, he has a very high opinion of them, shall we say. They are who they listen to. The problem is on the club side is none of them play clubs.
So we need someone to bring clubs to the forefront as such, rather than
all they listen is the question though. It needs to be them that comes to that. I mean, look what they're doing with this birthday thing. They're picking specific streamers to launch these birthday whatever it is, and it's all their one way to, as Cut calls them, they're golden boys. There isn't any Penthas because he's had a black mark against them. There is no Nick 2K18 because he's had a black mark against them. It's all the golden boys, the other yes men who will say, oh, game's great, no matter what happens, game's great.
Yeah. So, would you say, like... well, I lost train of thought, someone take over.
Well, one of my main problems with it is, obviously, every company is going to have a golden boys, golden girls, golden this, golden that they're going to try and advertise. But if you look at Epic, FIFA 18 died for me about May time, as it always does at FIFA. I just started playing. I went to Fortnite because Fortnite was the hype of that summer, and played that till the new FIFA came out. Literally, they put up a post on a Tuesday morning saying this week's update will contain a jetpack. They put it up at like 2 PM UK time. By 9 PM UK time, that was wiped. We're doing something else. Sorry, you don't like it. Because it was like, no, we don't want it. We don't want that. We want something else.
The way I always looked at it when I ran like competitive is, yes, I might be the one holding the door, holding the keys, but there was no point in me running a league, a tournament, or introducing any rules that the community didn't want, because they are the ones that are going to play it. Now, if I'm going to introduce, I don't know, anything, Toxic, we'll say for Toxic the height restrictions, and the community would go, no, don't want it, and I introduced it anyway, how many teams do you think are going to sign up for that tournament?
Not many.
That is the problem with EA. They don't listen. But we are still here stupid enough to buy the game because we love pro clubs and we're still here playing. EA don't listen. They don't care. Because their money making count is on...
I got my train of thought back in the end, and it was to do with like content creators and bringing them into the pro club side of things. So recently they've brought Matt HD Gamer, haven't they, from the YouTube side of things into pro clubs, and he played his first game the other week.
Yeah, that's exactly the sort of stuff that we need as people like Matt, people that's got a presence on the platforms of Twitter and YouTube and whatever. I mean, as I said at the beginning, there's a lot of people that are starting to come out the woodwork that are just putting a tweet out there saying, "Oh, maybe pro clubs could be a thing." That, I mean, that could be so. The potential for it is so. There's a lot of people, excuse me, that I've seen quite a lot. I mean, KSI said something not that long ago. It was
Yeah, with a lot of legs.
yeah, that video. I mean, there's people that have been tweeting similar things. Going, have been playing pro clubs. This game mode actually has so much potential if EA would do something. There's so many. I've been read it that many times. I've actually started in my wee conspiracy theory. He'd started going, maybe EA has actually said something to these people, and something is actually coming. But then I remember who I'm dealing with, and it's EA, and then I started to revert back the way and go, nah, it's just going to be. What we'll get is a game, and they'll change the colour to I don't know, green and white rather than fucking
change the colour palette. Yeah.
Change it to green and white all they want. I'll buy 10 copies.
That's it. The game days will just change the colour. They'll never know.
I mean, they definitely didn't copy and paste it this year. Give them credit there. It wasn't a copy and paste.
They did change. I mean, at the beginning, I thought. I mean, the people were saying the game was really bad at the beginning. I thought at the beginning the game was alright. It wasn't as bad as some were making it on Twitter. The further we went into the year, patch after patch after patch after patch after patch after patch, the game has get progressively worse.
Yeah, but as it's got progressively worse from our side, it's got better for foot.
That's exactly what I was going to say. All these patches are aimed at foot, which does to them, they don't, whether they know or no, it does have a negative or sometimes a positive effect on the engine for clubs, because to be honest, the engine they're using is no built for 22 people in a park running at each other. It's just no built for it.
Yeah, it's annoying because you kind of, at the start of FIFA, I'm not gonna lie, I was one of the people loving clubs, but I couldn't get people to play it for my love and money. Like, oh, it's a bit dodgy, it's a bit this. Oh, I'll just play. I've been playing foot and I don't like it. I'll just go on Fortnite. But there was nothing wrong with clubs gameplay. The passing was crisp. The movement felt crisp. It wasn't perfect, but it did feel a lot better than what I was accustomed to. And now you get me now, for example, training the other night. I was standing at the box. I pressed B, to pull the boy's shirt. My boy just decided to put both arms around him, and he just started to lean left with his arms and try and grab him and not follow him. I was moving left on my stick. My boy just fell over trying to hug him.
It's the stamp that does man nothing. I mean, you're doing that very thing. You're running beside. You're trying to get your body in front of him to pull him back, and your guy stamps, and that's him. He's gone. Like, what are you doing?
Oh, the heavy lunge tackle.
Aye, it's just no need for it.
Then you've got goalkeepers thinking they're Superman.
Yeah, that's Superman animation, all that stuff.
That's another thing that the engine's no built for. Somebody controlling the goalkeeper.
But then they've probably put in the most broken feature in to help Ultimate Team players, moving the goalkeeper.
Yeah. So perhaps 10v10 is on the cards then, rather than 11v11, huh?
I mean, there's goalkeepers that can literally win you games. Defense wins you titles, attack wins you games. It's just, and a goalkeeper, if you can get a goalkeeper that can win you 15 points, that's title winning.
Yeah.
You do that with a default, you have no chance that default's going to win you 15 points a season. The thing I love is it's like, I've had many a goalkeepers. It's a goalkeeper pulling off a last minute save brings as much joy to a party as somebody scoring a last minute winner. And you can hear parties, people absolutely going crazy in the parties, and you can see me jumping about like a nutcase, punching tables and whatnot. It's
like when we played you in the first game we played you, first time ever in that sort of scene for us under TNG. You battered us 2-0. The way you play is fantastic. I can know how you play TNT. Second time I played you, I adjusted the team to play against that. Knowing that you do, I'm not going to say what you do, but people that watch you and sort of look at your game will know how you like to play. I think we're quite similar. You just have the better caliber players, the players that have played together longer.
playing longer. I was going to say that it's
Yeah.
literally just time together. And I mean, see, when I put this version of Phoenix together, this squad of players, I had people coming to me saying, "I can't believe you have not just folded Phoenix and you're playing with these players." And I'm like, I'm never. Whenever have you ever known me to be in the market to fold a team because I've had a player leave me? It's no my style. It's no for me. I will build from the bottom. I basically stripped the Phoenix FIFA team back to nothing and built it to where it is just now. And everybody was telling me, you may as well fold it because you'll never win anything with 8 players. Okay, well, we'll see. And we've already proved them wrong. We've beaten Lucid. Lucid was in that league. Class was in that league. Nasty was in the league. Pellegro, who won it. I mean, Phoenix will never get the recognition that other teams will get.
Honestly, hands up, I think you are not to brown nose or any of that. I genuinely respect what you do because I like what models you run the team on. You don't go by name. You've built your empire, to say, right? That's what you've done. You've not went with these big fancy names that I've had problems with bringing a few in the past. And they just go to make little bitch groups and they take the little bitch group with them.
That's why I've always said there's no point having a Messi or Ronaldo in your team if he's a bad apple. I found that out the hard way in season... I started managing on VFL in season 10, 11, 12, and it's now season 30 odd. I had to 4-5 seasons out from season 30 something. I think it was 30, 29, 30 I stopped, and I've just taken it back this season because I had too much on my plate personally between home life, running VFL competitive, running Phoenix, and running a VFL team. It's just no enough hours in the day.
Yeah,
just no enough hours.
It's like you've got one of the best centre backs that we had on your roster currently. Not gonna Taka, like class player. Didn't wish him. As soon as I heard he was going to use, I was like, "On you go, bud. Class team. Blah blah blah." Released him. Never had a problem with Taka.
Taka's come in and been absolutely something else. He's been playing fullback for me, and that's the best part. But the thing is I know if me or Obi isn't there, he can literally slot inside and do the job that I need him to do. He came in, obviously I know he had the gamer tag Fenix Taka. I got him for that the last Super Cup.
You had him in a drop-in session, and then you had him in... Well, they had him in for a drop-in session. But this is my understanding of it. Correct me if I'm wrong. But this is my what I've generated, is they got him in for a drop-in session, they liked him, so they passed his name on to you, and then obviously got him in for the Super Cup. Taka, being Taka, blew it out of the water in true Taka fashion, and now you've got him.
That thing about this getting him in for the Super Cup, I got him in 20 minutes before we were going to kick off the Super Cup because my right back decided to tell me that he wasn't going to be on, and I'm like, right, we're going into this with 10 men unless we can literally find some... 20 minutes before the deadline of the signing stuff. Was it 26 or 27, 7 o'clock would have been the thing, and I was like, we've got literally no time to find a player. And it was one of the boys went, what about Taka? We played with him the other night, it was pretty good. I'm like, right, see if he's available, if he's not doing anything. I sent him an invite, came in, I'll play no problem. Sent his name to one of the admins on it way, and he literally played right back, right beside me, and he literally played there like he had never played anywhere else. Literally played beside me like he was like my right arm. I was like, this is unreal. I've never had a player come in and play beside in any position, to be honest. I've seen players come in at 20 minutes notice in a tournament and crumble, and Taka played there like he'd been playing with for forever.
I mean, I'm not going to hold grudges or something, but I struggled to find a centre back that night.
Were you at the tournament?
No, we weren't in the tournament. We were just doing 11s. But he was I was like, but I didn't care. Taka's a sound lad. I'll always be sound with Taka. I'll always go, you snaked us, like, as a joke. And be like, oh yeah, blah blah blah. Because he literally asked Taka. He was, if he didn't go into that Super Cup, he was 2.5 hours off joining Envious. Because he literally got the message from EA 2.5 hours later or something. No, Microsoft saying Envious Taka is now available. Sorry for any inconvenience.
Jesus. I do apologise for that because I didn't know that.
I mean, I don't think you're... still. But hey ho, it's how FIFA works. I hold no grudge for him going to you. If he was going to go to a name that I wouldn't necessarily like, I'd be like trying to talk him around, but there's no point talking him around.
I mean, I've had it this FIFA try to talk people round for doing stupid things and leaving. I've had people come back to me a couple of days after they've left and say, "There's this space still there? I've made a boo boo and I've already filled it." I'm like, times are gone, filled it, moving on. You've made your decisions. Time to sort of line your bed and go with it. And I mean, I had it with Shilling there a week ago. He's new in Unity, but before Unity, there was somebody else that tried to tap him up. And I basically said to him, "Look, you know what's going to happen with this team. They'll be here for 2 weeks. They'll fold. They'll drop you like a stone, and you'll be back to square one." Aye, I'm not going anywhere. 2 days later, Unity came in. He's played with Unity quite a lot, so I mean, I wouldn't grumble him going to Unity. It was just the way things had went about, transpired is what kind of got my goat up a wee bit.
Yeah, the way that it happened, rather than how it happened.
I mean, a week before, Caesar came to me and says to me, "Look, doesn't matter the reasons, but he says, I'm going to go to Unity." Like, mate, you want to go and do that? That's the reason I ended up getting Taka, because Caesar went to Unity. Like, you do your thing, bud. Fair enough. I mean, you came to me, you gave me the courtesy to come to me and say, "Look, I'm going to." Sharon didn't do that, which was the part that kind of, like, well, fair enough. We know where we stand with each other.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Like
Taka develops. Oh, go on,
Taka didn't give us notice, but I'm joking. Taka, I love you, really. Nah, Taka's a sound lad. Never had beef with Taka. He's been straight up. He was like, at the end of the day, he came to me on a message like, "Joe wants to sign me, blah blah blah. Is that okay?" "No problem, bud. Can you release me on VPL?" Literally, lad, I'm way to sleep. "I'll release you after work." Released him after work. But there's a certain player I do have a problem with. He signed for it. I'm not going to name names, Hayden. You know who this is straight away.
Yeah.
Signed for us this season on VPL. Lied twice about being ill, and then came to me on the third day and went, "I want to go play for X team that have just joined VPL." I went, "No."
I mean, there's a way to do it. There's a way to do it. You think, how would you want to be treated? That's how I always dealt with when I wasn't a manager in VFL. I mean, I've always fulfilled a contract. If I've signed a contract, I've been there, I've finished it. But if I was going to leave or I wanted to, you would give the manager or anybody that you deal with the courtesy of saying, "Look, this isn't really what I thought it was going to be. This isn't what blah blah blah," and then you work it for there. If the manager then turns on you, then that's a different story. But you've at least gave him the courtesy of saying. But that's, you could say again. You look at the community. You get two totally different aspects. What Caesar done, and then you look at what Shellen done. Two totally different aspects of what the community is like.
It's so chalk and cheese. Just, I don't understand why people can't just be honest. Like, "I want to go with this," or the boy that claimed to be ill twice couldn't have just went, "Yeah, I don't want to play for you." Fine, fair enough. Give us time to find a replacement. But he waited those 2 days. The VPL deadline passed. I didn't have time to get more players on my roster. I was like, "You can play for us, or you can sit there till mid-season and rot." Honestly, mate, because you could have gave us that notice.
So,
you know what I mean?
Would you say a lot of players have come and gone in Phoenix? Would you say, like, would you have a rough figure in your head, Joe?
This is probably my third team, and I always try and keep a squad of players, not just 11. I mean, there's what, 2 players that have been in. No, some. I would say 1 player's been with me from the beginning, other than Clark. But Clark hasn't really played clubs. He's been more like the media and building the web. He's absolutely a wizard when it comes to graphics and all that stuff. He's been dealing. The 1 player that I've had in Phoenix and all my VFL teams from the get go would be, this is quite, my brother Sean. He's been in every single one. He's been from when I've had the likes of Josh Baldwin, HKs, Chris Lays, to what it is now, and it is night and day. I had back then was a team that was more individuals and cliquey. What I have now is a team that's a unit that knows that if one of them's gone, they're all gone in.
So, would you say you've got a core group of players there now that will stick together no matter what, and play other games together and bond and stuff?
Yeah, well, right now they're all on F1. I mean, everybody has their, what's the word I'm looking for?
Groups.
No, cleats. Nah, it's not. There isn't any groups because there's one thing that I don't like, and it's the one thing that destroyed the last time I was in a VFL manager. Was I allowed a clique to develop, and I called them the clique. They know who they are. I called them the clique every time they came into my chat, and they practically told me. I mean, the story could go. Tell me, I don't want to play in the last season. That I was going to be a manager. The reason I was stopping was because that group of players was the reason I was doing it, and I'm like, right, well, I'll stop. Plus, I had the VFL and too much commitment stuff. After I'd literally rebuilt an entire squad at Arsenal, they come back and says, "Oh, we want to play now." Oh, I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. I ended up selling one of them. I released one of them, and two I kept as backup. Or basically, I think one was a backup. The other one ended up playing because, well, it was Josh, who's one of the best strikers that were on the game. I forgot where we were going with it.
It was about groups and different ways that people react.
Aye, but this group doesn't really have any cliques. There is nobody that will go into the wee parties and have a wine and a moan. This is a group of people that is a clique, all in one. Everybody's on right now. The will be on FM, either FM or F1, most likely F1. So.
Would you say that's a crucial part of keeping a team together, is the bonding outside of the sessions as such, like the competitive sessions?
Definitely, because this will be like them. They're all letting their hair down. They're all doing their thing. They're all having a giggle. They're all doing what they need to do. Because if you're constantly going at it, then that's when people start whispering to each other and going, "Oh, this isn't working. This isn't doing that." I mean, don't get me wrong. They will talk to each other, but they will come to me. Because the one thing I'll always say to all of them, if there's a problem and you don't tell me, I can't fix it.
That is literally what I've said so many times. Literally, like, when we've had fallings out within the group and all that, like, and then people come speak to me afterwards. I went, "Why have you not told me? Why have you not told George? Why have you not told Billy? Why have you not told this? Why have you not told that?" Like, we're not mind readers. Unless we're told, we just assume. We can we can sort of tell, but we can't say, "Yeah, that's it. Put our finger on it."
I mean, I'm at the point now. I've got two boys, Tiki and Cheeky, who are not constantly each other's throats, but they're like, honestly, if you were in my stream last night or even the night, the two of them are honestly like children. Tit for tat. He said this, he said that, he's done that. I'm like, I've got two children at home who are 5 and 10 who are less work than used to, who are constantly tit for tat. This, he said that, he's doing this. Why is he doing this? What? I'm like, Jesus Christ, you two are actually killing my head.
So maybe it's about getting the balance right as well as bonding outside of the sessions, like not to spend too much time with each other, but to spend time to get that bond.
Yeah, it's getting the balance right. Yeah. I mean, there's that came to us together, so they two will have their time and whatever and do their thing.
Yeah.
But it's a main thing that if you're playing the game and you're having fun, is the main thing. Is when you're playing the game, having fun and laughing, the results 8-9 times out of 10 will come behind it.
I think that settles it nicely onto the next bit as such. Have you prepared any dream team of players for the real life or for pro clubs, you guys?
I've got my 11, but I think we better sort of speak about it. Well, I've put a rule in place that you're only allowed 3 players from your club.
So that would be Fenix for Joe, and then Envious for me and you.
Yeah. So.
And then you would have to pick 8 players outside that club, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Does X players count?
No, just current squad.
Just current squad is maximum of 3, and then.
This'll be hard. I'm not gonna lie.
Be hard. It makes it more interesting though, because obviously if you're gonna pick your 11, it's mainly going to be your current Fenix boys, more or less.
Can I take it? No, well, mine wouldn't be because I'd seen it on VFL. It was a while back, and I had what would be your best 11, and I put it into a 4-3-2-1, and eventually I actually ended up with that very front three. I tried to get it with Dilskin and Josh, and one of my last seasons I ended up with Dylan, Dowser and Josh playing up front.
Okay. So do you just want to start with goalkeepers? And we'll go through it. You can obviously vary on your formations as we go, but we'll sort of...
Should we all stay with one formation as such, or so that we all...
Well, I'm going to go 4-1-2-1-2 narrow regardless, so...
I guess I'll go 4-1-2-1-2 as well then.
JoeBhoy?
I don't know. I'll probably go either 4-2-3-1 or 4-1-2-1-2.
Cool, we'll sort of vary it as we go. So, I'll start off with my keeper. I'll probably go Spragsy. And that's going to kill me because he's currently with us.
So that costs one of your current roster?
No, can I change that actually? No, I'll automatically regret that Farman. I forgot Farman. No, Farman. Mail, Farman.
So, what makes him stand out?
When his connection wasn't dodgy, the shot stopping's unreal and his distribution was unreal. And he's just a laugh. He's just a good boy to have around the squad.
I kind of personally struggle on my goalkeeper as I haven't known many world-class goalkeepers as such, but so I'd have to go with one of the Envious boys and say I'll go with Spragsy as well then.
Why is he so good then?
He just seems every time I play with him he's consistent. He's a good shot stopper, he can distribute, and he just gets all the basics right, and that's what you want from a keeper at the end of the day, and they keep you in games eventually when it comes to it. So
Joe?
What about you, Joe?
I kind of pick between two. It's either Steg or a keeper that I had in Watford at the beginning, at Matthews, would be my two. I mean, I've had umpteen keepers from Shilling to Pakeman to Joshy, Matthews, Steg, and I'll probably go Matthews, just because it was back in the day.
Back in the good old days, eh?
So on to right back then. Tierney?
Right back. Okay, Diego. Honestly, when that man's on his game, he's very, very good. Regardless of any beef I've had or any arguments, Diego, hands down.
That's inspired me actually, so I'm going to go Diego as well.
You're a cunt. I swear to God, you just like to call my team.
It's the fact that I don't have many people outside of the Envious, so I can only use 3 from Envious, so that's made it problematic for me. So I'm going to have to go Diego and just go with people I know from VFL and FPC and all that I've played with in the past.
Yeah, so Diego, good lad as well to have around. I mean, he's had his tiffs and taffs with people, but defensively he is class.
And in a back three as well, when you have him at wide mid, you can always protect the wide centre back when required. And
he's good technically.
Yeah.
Especially skill.
The lacroquettes.
I fucking hate that skill move.
What about you, Joe, then? Who would you have at right back?
I would only be Raul. The only person I could put there. That boy was literally like my right arm for long enough.
Is he no longer at Fenix now?
No, he's not at Fenix anymore. He's not at Fenix. He doesn't even. I don't even think he comes out of the stream now and again, but I don't think he actually plays much or any clubs anymore because of the game. But I literally did call the boy my right arm at one point with the way he used to. When I get caught for pace, he would literally be there. Until he decided that he wanted to try and play centre mid or Ram, and I tried to talk him out of it by saying, look, for me, you're one of the elite fullbacks in the game, or on the site. You're going to become a player lost in the wilderness if you want to move into centre mid or Ram.
That brings up a whole nother point on the fact that you're playing fullback, which is probably the least glorified position on pro clubs, I'd say. So
it's one of the most vital.
And probably the most vital as well in building a team, yeah.
It's one of the most vital. The way we play, it's one of the most vital positions. Between you need to know when to go, when to sit, when I need you to be beyond the wide attacking midfield. It's just the way I play it. It's a vital position, but it is one of the most hated positions, and it drives me nuts.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So we've done the right back. Should we go left back or centre back?
I'm going to go 2 centre backs to speed it up.
Okay, 2 centre backs then.
Joe and Tak. No, I played with Joe at Scotland. Trial was very limited, but it was class to play beside someone that was there. No offence, Billy, when you're listening, but Tak and Joe. Taka is so composed, he's so calm, and so is Joe. And like you said, they've kind of got a partnership, so it kind of made sense to be
Not going to
already
pick
made.
yourself, no?
Mate, that's comment, don't worry.
Oh, you're going to put yourself out of position now, are you?
I would position, mate. You've never known me to play my best position.
Ah, kept it quiet, have you?
Yeah.
My centre-backs then, if I'm not picking myself, because I'm not that egotistical, I'll go Billy.
That would pick myself, no.
You can't put yourself
You
in.
can pick yourself, yeah. Actually, I might pick myself then. I'll go Billy and myself at the back, because then that gives me a free Envious spot after Billy and Spragsy. Because Billy's just an outstanding defender. He reads the game well. So, Joe?
Centre backs would need to be Hakim. It's I played with Hakim for I don't know how many seasons, and the way I've always done it is I've always been the sweeper, and he just always go and destroy it. And it's the same way I'm with Obi. I'll be the sweeper, and he goes and attacks anything that comes in front of us, and it works. Between they two, I'm actually getting to a point with Obi. I can't really separate him from HK. And for that reason, I'm putting the two of them as my what do you call it?
Partnership.
My partnership. I'll leave myself out. Yeah.
Don't
But
rate yourself compared to them, no?
I'm not for it now.
On to left back. Who have you got, Tierney?
Well, I could inject myself in there for my 1 or 2 seasons of glory in left back, which when I could be arsed to play full back, I was decent. I just never could be arsed playing it because it is not rewarding. Like you don't get the thanks for it. That's why I moved into centre back. I prefer just being meaty and hitting people in the middle and getting action. But I'm gonna go one unknown at left back. Jack. It was JXCK23 or something.
Okay.
Best left back I've played with. Up and down that pitch like a yo-yo, but he was never caught out.
So you got the both attacking and defensive side completely spot on.
Yeah. Out of this world.
I would only really have one person for this position, so I'd go with Janola, Liam. Shout out to him. Yeah, I've played with him on FGL and some midweek sites, and he keeps it solid at the left back, so I'll go opt for him really. How about you, Joe? What about your left back?
My left back is actually in Phoenix right now. It's always been a bit I've had two left backs that have been really good. Paddy, who I've got just now, and Dilba, who I had back in the day. Dilba was just Mr. Handy. He was always there when you need them. Paddy, on the other hand, is the way he gets up and down the park, and he just seems to pop up at the back post so many times it is unreal. So my left back is Paddy, 07.
Okay. So into the midfield now, getting into the meaty part. Should we start at CDMs, or are you going 2 in the CDM area, Joe, or are you going with 1?
I've decided to go same as you. Just went 4-2-3-1. Sorry, 4-1-2-1-2. Sorry.
Yeah. All right. So CDM, Tierney.
CDM Peg. Obviously that man. Machine. I played him at Roma. Killed it. Absolutely murdered it. And genuinely one of the best laughs I've ever had in a party, just sitting with him and Liam and taking the piss. And him ripping into Liam would be brilliant in the team, just to watch Liam rip into hit Peg for going to the kate and all that. Just out of this world, was funny.
Well, my CDM, another unknown one, is Chris. He's also called Youngie on his gamer tag, and he's an absolute ball winner, and he will just destroy people as such, and he's composed on the ball. He's not afraid to pass it out, and he just gets the job done basically in CDM, and he can play on his own or as part of a 2. So I'd go with Chris. How about you, Joe?
I could have Peg, who I've got just now. I could have Gray, who I've got just now. Gray's one of the bands that can win a. There's some phrases that's been said about Gray in DM, the way he tackles people. The way he reads the game to hit somebody is brilliant. I played with quite a lot, but I've gone to go old school back in the day with Ben A. he was my mainstay DM wherever I went. He's back in the VFL team Dortmund. He's in Dortmund, so I've had to go bring him back. Doesn't play as much as he used to, but he was brilliant. He's still good, but he just doesn't play as much.
Alright, so on to centre mids, Tierney. Who have you got at centre mid?
2 centre mids. Oh, right, this is where it gets hard. But one of them is Billy. Blanc, Lingard, whatever you want to call him.
You
The
put
man.
him at centre mid rather than centre back, yeah?
Yeah, man, for a workhorse and someone that can pass. Honestly, he is literally that box-to-box centre mid for me. And I'd probably play him on the left because I like an attacking left side. Or to do right.
Who would you have on the right?
Right side, who would I have on the side? Probably, even though I've had a lot of arguments with him over the time, probably KJB, 19, or Alioski as he goes by now. But when he played centre mid, he was class. He was another act to play beside, so yeah, him.
Okay. Personally, my centre mids, again, more unknowns in terms of the pro club scene, but I hope they get their name out there eventually. Lethal Weapon, he's a quality midfielder. He keeps it simple, no skills, just does great link-up play with everybody, and he's easy to get along with. And I would have alongside him on the right, I'm going to go with one of my in real life friends in Explosivo 17, I believe. His name's Luke. He doesn't play it as much as most people, but when he does play it, he's brilliant and keeps it simple as well. So I'd have the two ticking along nicely in the middle, I'd hope. So that's my 2 in midfield. How about you, Joe?
This is difficult because this has changed about 40 times since this. But I could put Baldy in, but I went for basically Chris Lay, who man's a machine. Wherever he is in there, he's up and doing that part like an absolute machine. And the other central midfielder I've went for is Unreal Matt. The man never missed a game when I was a manager on VFL the first time. Never missed a game. He nearly missed a game, if I remember right. It was something to do with the NFL was starting. And then he decided that night, I'll just play and then I'll record it and I'll go and watch it. And I was glad I did because I'm pretty sure he scored the winner that night.
Talk about dedication.
Oh, that guy did not miss a game. He was absolutely... I just call him a Mr. Consistent. He always gives you a 7. Nothing below a 7.
Like a James Milner or a...
he always went between, depending on the formation, he went from central midfield to cam. It's sort of to where he always dithered in between, but I've also got a front three of dreams sitting in front of me here that could play in any way around it that you want to put them.
Oh, well, I think your front three have already been named.
So who would you have in attacking midfield, Tierney?
Attacking midfield, this is where it gets difficult. Really, really difficult for me. Because I've played with AJ, KHD, is it? Yeah. I've played with George, who obviously I really rate there. But I'm honestly going to go for somebody notable. Taden, you would have heard of him. You wouldn't have heard of him under this name. Haywire, Jimmy Bob, Sandro, Martial. Boy's just class when he was calm back in the day. He could be arse playing clubs. He could have honestly went and done bits. He'd work, fight for that ball and open doors. He won me a league title once just through raw ability on FIFA. Be able to open doors when we were looking like we couldn't open them. Just unreal on his day, really.
So on that note, I'm going to take the one that you didn't pick in George from Envious Royce. He's brilliant on the ball, very composed. You would hardly see him make a mistake on the pitch, basically. He takes risks as well, and he's a good goal scorer, so I'd opt for George in my attacking midfield role. How about you, JoeBhoy? Who have you got in attacking midfield?
I could put any of the 3 in attacking midfield, but my attacking midfielder will be Dowser. Man was the same as the other 2. It was actually a joy to watch the 3 of them work together when the 3 of them played. It was, you could put them in any attacking position and they would make it work. And the 3 of them together. It was brilliant to to watch. Dowser was actually the reason that Arsenal. Well, no, he wasn't the only reason, but he was the catalyst for Arsenal going to win my last title when I was a manager, and it was purely because I had lost all fire or anything today with manager. I was all for either 5-man in it and just getting the season done. And he came to me and put a wee bit of fire in my belly with saying, let's show them, and basically put middle finger up to the clique, shall we say. And we'll build it, and we did. We went and totally changed the whole squad from what we started with to what we finished the league the season with, and he was the catalyst behind it.
So on to the main bit then, the two strikers.
Well, I've kind of buggered myself over counting my Envious boys, and I wanted to put 2 up top. So, sorry, George.
That's unfortunate.
As much as I love George, I think one of them just picks himself, Hayden. And Joe, you will learn about this boy soon. Joe, Phil, Envious Cantona, time finishes, near post, far post, volleys, headers, link up. He's just got it all in his locker. How I've managed to know him and get him onto the scene without anyone sort of picking up sticks about it is unreal. Just a shame he can't play weekends, really. And
who would you have alongside him?
This is where I have trouble. This is where I genuinely have trouble. And just because I played with him for ages, and I played for him when he was really, really good, was Wes. Wes at his prime, not so much now. But Wes when he was at his prime playing striker, untouchable. Creator, natural finisher as well. So, probably Wes and Phil.
Sounds like a good partnership. I'm going to go with one of my mates as my last Envious pick, because I've done... Wait. Well, no, I can't now, can I?
Nope, you can't.
I'll give a bonus mention to Ali then. I'm sorry, Ali. It's because it's got up the tree, so to speak. I can't go for you now then, so I've done Billy, Spraggs and George and I, so yeah. Ah, crap, I didn't think that through. Well, I had one other one in mind, so that would be D, aka Beckham I7. He finishes 9 chances out of 10. His finishing is superb, and once he's inside the box, there's no stopping him. So I'll go with him. Who alongside him then? If I can't have Ali, sorry Ali. I'm gonna have to go with Maxinho then. He's a very creative striker. You can bring others into play, and he tries a bit of skill here and there to beat his flair and beat his player. So definitely Max if it's not Ali. So how about you, Joe?
I mean, I could have different strikers from shifty to unsuitable, Jack, steady. Oh, but it's got to be the first one will be Delshkin, easily the best Scottish player that there has been, will be. That boy, you could give FIFA and he'll have the mechanics nailed down in about a week, and he'll know exactly what skill move will get him in what position the best. It's just unreal. I remember the first time I played with him, it was in Scotland, and I can't remember who it was. I think it was Morgan's one of the centre backs. I think he's been banned, funny enough, on VFL, and he says watch Stilskin. I'd never heard of him, never seen him before, and the things that he was doing with the ball, I was just like, how is he getting that pro to do that? That is not human that he can get that. I mean, he was literally carrying 2 players on his back, done like I call it a la cricket. I don't know what it was. It was like a spinner Rooney, and put this ball in the top corner. I was like, what was that? How is he doing that with 2 defenders on his back? It was frightening. And he's just, well, his name speaks for itself, to be honest with everything else he's done.
So Delshkin, did you name the other or?
No, the other one is Josh Baldwin. He was a gem of a find. I found him the same time I found Rahul, and it was another one. He turned a goalkeeper into a fullback. Literally chipped him from the halfway line. I think it was either a semi-final or I think it was either a quarter-final, semi-final, or final, something like that, in one of the European competitions. Practically LBY chipped him, and it was Pakeman, turned him into a fullback the next season. Josh was one of the ones that was just like, how do you do these things? Didn't speak much. Another one, it was low maintenance, just didn't came in, played, didn't care. But again, I mean, I could put people like Shifty in it, because Shifty's a player that he would always be, again, 7 out of 10, would never go under it. But he's one of the players that needed something made for him. Day 3
to
make something out of nothing.
So yeah, that's all of our lineups, isn't it? There, that's covered it. Any bonus mentions that you want to mention, guys? Shout outs.
I need another deal.
I don't really think so. No one that springs to mind.
I mean, I've got Baldy suitable. I mean, the boys that I've got to know, I think the longer I play with them, these boys literally could easily slot into one of the positions. The longer I play. This team, the Phoenix version, is still pretty much in its infancy.
Mhm. Well, I have some people that I would mention, but like they were brilliant players, but I just ended up falling out with them, so that's why I'm not going to mention them. So yeah, because they just had too big of ego to like be my friend as such, so I just ditched them, as so to speak. But yeah.
So there's one last final activity to sort of shorten it down a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to do a real life 11, but I'll do a real life 5-a-side team. But it's only from your club.
Okay.
Right? One past, one present, one ex, one that played for your rivals.
No.
And and one that was rumoured to happen but never did. I mean,
I can't remember all that off by heart, but
okay.
we'll do one at a time then.
So, your goalkeeper. You can take the rival one out and put a current player if you want.
Alright, so current player, rival player.
Current player, rival player. Oh, you've made me forget, for fuck's sake. Rival player, current player, former player, player that was rumoured, and just put another current player. Make it easier. Edit the other bit out.
Okay, so in goal, I'm going to try and use this as my rival player as such. Who's been David James then? David James from Portsmouth.
You fucking cop out.
Solid keeper, I guess.
I mean, I'm not going to complain. I'm going to do the exact same. I'm not. I'm not going to use a cop out. Boric. Man was a different caliber, man. Oh, what a goalkeeper. He was my hero growing up as well.
And he does the star dive animation that you'd want in FIFA nowadays.
Yeah, I love that one. Oh, no, just not that. But JoeBhoy will probably remember this. Spartak Moscow, penalty shootout. He feints one way and pushes it the other way, saves it, and does a little dance and does a massive yas to the fans.
He does some. The reason they called him the holy goalie because he was absolutely nuts. I mean, the only player. Well, he's not the only player. That's a lie. But goes to the Celtic fans at Ibrox and carries a Celtic flag across the pitch. Just like it's madness, but it's hilarious because it's in Nemo.
I'm honoured to see him play at our club as well. So he did well for us until he threw a ball at one of our fans, and then he ended up being out of the team after that.
Oh mate, he was an absolute nutter. Honestly. Yeah, but the best thing he ever done was Old Firm game at Ibrox. After he did the flag, he wore a top that said "God bless the Pope" on it, and had a massive picture of the Pope in Ibrox. And you're just thinking, man, you are off your nut.
So, are you having Boric as well, Joe, or are you having someone else?
I'm going to go somebody else. I'm actually going to put another. I was going to go Boric, but I've been thinking about the person that used to break my heart. I don't know if you're old enough to remember Gorham. I mean, that guy used to break my heart every time we played Rangers in the 90s. You'd play Rangers off the park, and he would keep it at 0-0, and then Alan McCoy would run up the park and score in the 90th minute. Just about every time he played him off the park, and I'll put Gorham in mine.
Okay, so I suppose we'd have a defender and a 5-a-side team, wouldn't we? So
yeah.
I think mine's going to be pretty obvious then. I'm going to go with a former player.
Oh yeah, fuck myself. Yeah.
Virgil van Dijk.
I've done myself
I
something
think that
silly.
explains itself, so I'll just keep that short and simple. World class.
Well, if I didn't screw myself over, I'd collection of centre backs to have: Bobo Balde, Van Dijk,
You couldn't have
Mialbi.
Bobo in a five-a-side team, man. He would be killing people.
Have you never watched? Have you never watched Still Game, the pensioner football with Naveed? Perfect, man. Nah, Bobo, man. Oh, have you ever heard the story with Bobo and the Mota thing? That's unreal. If you haven't, anyway.
Aye. Is it McNamara that tells the story?
Aye.
Petrov's told the story as well, I think. I remember a story about Petrov, a quick one, that Petrov says something to Bobo on the way into the
He
changing room,
pins
saying
him
that
off
he'll not be
against the
playing
wall.
away, and he literally picks Petrov up with the neck and pins them against the wall. The whole team just, okay.
Or the one with Brim's also a classic at Easter Road. Bobo gets sent off for stamping him in the chest. And I get Brim signs for Celtic. He's like, "Oh, Bobo, you got sent off for fouling me. It was not a foul. You dived." Oh my god. That's not the man I can trust. But because I've screwed myself over, I'm going to have to do a man that broke my heart to play against. And honestly, he was slow. He was everything a centre-back shouldn't be, but David Weir. He was just football intelligent. Genuinely had great respect for him. He wasn't highly rated in Scotland, but I had a lot of respect for him. Old man, came back to Scotland, was class. He's a leader.
Okay. How about you, Joe?
I've went Van Dijk.
Hey.
I couldn't know. I mean,
Pop out.
I could have. I went. I mean, to have one, I had to have Van Dijk. Couldn't know have Van Dijk.
So what are the options for the remaining 3 spots again? So I've
So
done a former player, I've done a rival player. I can do
So we've all done that. So it's 2 current and 1 that could have been.
one that could
Oh
have been.
no! I'm sorry. I'm taking another legend. You can't have the King of Kings, and I'm not. Can't do it.
Yeah, that's your choice. I've done it as well.
Do you want to
Don't
do
worry.
1 current, 1 legend then, if that's the case?
Oh yeah, 1 legend then.
Yeah.
1 current, 1 legend, 1
Alright.
that could have been.
Alright, so I'm going to have current as... who would be a good 5-a-side player from our team? I'm going to go with Nathan Redmond then, for a bit of trickery. Good on the ball. He's direct and creates chances for anybody else, but just doesn't seem to score them himself half the time. But when he does score them, it's a worldie. So Nathan Redmond. Are we doing 2 at a time? Or are we doing...
Do both your midfield if you want.
Yeah, okay. And Matt Letizia, the legend himself. He'd be not exactly a workhorse in the middle of the park, but he would deal with the worldies, score world-class goals, and he would just literally hit it like a bullet, so they wouldn't stand any chance. So yeah, that's Matt Letiz and Nathan Redmond in my midfield.
Oh, see, I'm hemming and hawing in the, I don't know, current player now. I'm going to have to use a current player now. So it's going to have to be Big Tom Rogic. Watching him score the winning cup final goal at Hampden for the Invincible Treble. Let's not speak about Judas that was on the touchline that day. But Tom Rogic's goal, drifting past O'Connor into the bottom corner, 93rd minute of +3. Fairy tales couldn't write that that well.
That brought a very old man to tears. I will not lie.
I mean, I was because obviously I'm not from Glasgow. I had to travel up from Aberdeen, and my bus was leaving at 7:15. I could not have stayed for the extra time, and he scored that. I was absolutely buzzing, and so it's got to be him as my one current. But could have been. Actually, nah. I'm not going to put in Larson, unfortunately. It breaks my heart, and Joe's probably like, "How the fuck you not doing that, you massive cunt?"
Nearly fell off my chair.
Larson, brilliant, iconic, but Petrov,
Stan the man.
he was a diamond in the rough. He is literally a diamond in the rough. From
him as a
CSK
right
Sevilla,
back.
and ended up being Shame what happened to him in his career, but
Yeah.
and there's
Nationality was he then?
Bulgarian.
Bulgarian. Yeah.
Oh no, I've ruined the legend. Sat pet drop. Lubo Moravchik. Oh, I forgot about Lubo.
Can't just ditch Petrov like that.
Yeah, you touched him like that.
Nah, Lubo, man. He was a different
Lubo
quality.
was something else.
Then you've got Naka, you've got... Oh, okay. I can go on for ages about Celtic midfield players. Tomo,
What
but
about you
nah.
then, Joey?
Lubo.
Well, my first one will be the captain that has won the most for the club, and Scotty Bruni. You couldn't have a destroyer in the middle of that part somewhere. Go and kick him, pal. He's the skelly guy. Go kick Lubo.
Okay, Lubo.
I'm just having Van Dijk as that at the back, so I've gone a bit more attacking. So
Big Van Dijk's like a big Rolls Royce. You could play him as a striker if you want. FIFA.
Fuck do, mate.
And the person that I've went for in the midfield beside him as a failed target that Celtic went for. I don't know if you remember this, Stones. Do you remember Celtic was in the tabloids of trying to get Rivaldo?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I put Rivaldo as mine.
I was. Do you know who I was genuinely going to put? Do you know the story with David Ginola?
Aye.
So, Hayden, you won't know this, but David Ginola came up, contract talks, he agreed his contract. And the owner of Celtic, Fergus McCann, went to him, "Aye, you've got a nice day for your contract signing. It'll be raining in St Mirren on Friday for your day." David Ginola never came back to sign that contract the next day, Hayden. He signed for Newcastle. So, we lost it on David Ginola.
So, as I should have been up front then for myself, should I go with like someone that was at the club but then left? Could I do that?
No, it's got to be someone that you were close to signing. It never happened.
Can I just go comedic then and have someone that signed and that wasn't what they were meant to be?
Yeah, okay, you can have Ali Dyer, yes, you
Yes,
can.
I'll have Ali Dyer. He was meant to be Timothy Weah's cousin, so yeah.
Timothy Weahs?
Not Timothy Weah, George Weah's cousin. God, this amount of times you've been saying Weah and Party, I was thinking Timothy there. Yeah, George Weah's cousin. So yeah, he didn't exactly live up to expectations, so that's a could have been definitely. I'll have Ali Dyer up front.
Okay. I think if Joe will recall the King of Kings song about Henrik Larsson, You Are My Larsson, there's a very specific man that gets mentioned in that song about being a wanker, and that's Alan Shearer. Because Celtic were close to signing him at the same time he signed for Newcastle.
Alright.
So
There's quite a few in try to get him at.
yeah, but we obviously, You Are My Larsson with Henrik Larsson. You make me happy when Sky's green. We wait for Shearer, but he's a wanker.
So how about you, Joe? Who would you have up top on your 5-side?
George Larsson. Couldn't be anybody else.
Oh, I disagree.
The man himself.
Not Samaras, no.
Was that?
No. Not Samaras, not Lasad, no you, not Miku.
No, I'm sorry. No, not even Sutton or Hudson, but it's got to be the king.
Wee Jinky.
See, I mean, I was thinking about them and all this, but they were, it's hard to believe, I know, but they were before my time.
Ah, nah, mate, those been lines a lot. A special place of grace.
I think that ends it pretty nicely then, doesn't it, boys?
Yeah, reminisce on the good old days. Now we've got a Judas that thinks Leicester are a bigger club. That's absolutely fine by me.
Brendan Rodgers.
Oh, you didn't have to name him, did you?
Yes, of course I did.
Oh, of course you did. I just remember. He gave us a joint hatred of Cloud Puel. Oh man. I don't know how broken Joe's heart was that day, but I might have cried.
So has Neil Lennon taken the permanent role of Celtic?
No. No, he's only entering him.
So who do you reckon will be your manager going forward?
Do you want the one that's linked or the one I think it will be?
Both.
The one that's heavily linked is Rafa Benitez.
Oh, Ali wouldn't like that.
And Joe, who do you want now? Actually, out of curiosity to end this.
I don't know, to be honest, because it really depends on how ambitious the board are. I mean, the reason we got Rodgers, in hindsight, and looked at that, the reason we got Rodgers was because of what happened when we we lost to Rangers in that semi-final when Dyla was the manager. The Rangers board were going absolutely crackers in the boardroom, obviously where all the big Dermot Desmond, all the Celtic chief exec and all that was sitting. Our basically head guy that owns the club with money-wise, Dermot Desmond, went to law and apparently says, "Get me a manager that will put these back in their box." And that's how we ended up with Rodgers. Now, that in hindsight was a good defeat because we lost in the semi-final on penalties, and then we ended up with Rodgers the next season because of it.
Can we also say it was due to a dubious surface and ball bobbling because someone stood next to a ball?
No, but for me, it depends on how ambitious the Celtic board want to be.
If you're out there, you're Dermot Desmond or Peter Lawwell, you have to handpick your man. Who'd you pick?
I mean, they could go. They've been talking about that. What's that? Real Salzburg manager. They've been talking about him quite a lot.
Marco.
They've been talking about Benitez. They've been talking about Lennon getting it permanently. Lennon would be the safe pair of hands for them. They need somebody that's going to get 10 over the line. That's all they need to do. Get 10 over the line.
Don't you want someone that would take you on a European journey, though? No?
There's a degree of that, but,
yes.
but there's a line hidden very well said by the Green Brigade.
Yeah.
10 is not a project, it's a formality.
And
That
10 needs to happen.
Yeah.
Well, could you have Neil Lennon until the end of the season and then look for someone that could take you on a European journey afterwards?
Well, no, the 10's not for another 2 years after this season.
This is us going for 8, and then we'll get
8.
9.
Oh yeah.
Then this
That's
is
why you
8.
sing 8 in a row, isn't it? Yeah, I've just got it now.
But yes, who will get? I actually don't know. I don't know who will go for. I don't think Lennon will get it full time. I really don't.
Just hope it isn't Cloud Powell.
It's not going to be. I know who. Honestly, if I'm being honest, I can tell you who it's going to be, and I could put money on this, and nobody will believe me. But this podcast will either bite me in the arse or make me look like a genius. The coaching team at Celtic next season will be Roberto Martinez, Sean Maloney, and John Kennedy.
So he'd get sacked from Belgium, or was he still at Belgium?
He will leave Belgium because the Belgian players do not like him.
Ah.
There has actually been quite a lot of talk about Martinez as well, to be honest.
Because if you look at it, lines up Maloney, then you've got Martinez who has a house in Glasgow, and Kennedy still learning his trade.
Sounds like a project waiting to happen then.
That is not too far-fetched, to be fair.
This is the man I've told my dad.
Better place a bet on it then, Tony.
It's going to be Roberto Martinez, and if it's not Martinez, it better be Benitez. And if it is somebody obscure plucked out the rough like a Ronnie Deila, I am not going to go to the game.
I don't think they would go that way. They need somebody that they think will get them out. They'll no go Dyla. I mean, Dyla wasn't the first choice when they brought Dyla in. Dyla was supposed to come in under Lennon, but Lennon walked away because he wasn't getting what he needed to revamp the squad because he knew that squad was basically done. That was it had its day. When Yaman or that was already away, Foster was already away. He needed money to go and invest in the squad, and the board weren't prepared to give him it. So he walked away. Celtic went to Roy Keane. Roy Keane was basically told, "You can have the job, but we're going to give you your players." And Roy Keane says, "No, I don't think so. It's not how it works." So he walked away.
Yeah,
then they bring in Dyla.
Wanyama and Forster there.
I mean, big phrase. He was something else. Decima.
Could have had him as your goalkeeper in the former of your five side.
No, I'd prefer to have Big Boric. Man, he was idle. Hayden, I spent 6 years as our goalkeeper, and my penalties save tactic was the exact same as his. I idolised him. But honestly, Roberto Martinez is the man, I'm telling you. But I think we'll wrap it up there.
What's that?
Do you want to finish it, or do you
I
want
was just going to say, like, isn't there no managers within the Scottish League that are worth promoting up to Celtic, no?
Well, there's Steve Clark. He wouldn't take it because of the sectarian bubble.
Alright.
McInnes. He's a Rangers man. And there's no one else that he thinks is out. No.
Okay.
No.
I think we should get to the thank yous and for everybody participating here. Thanks, Tierney. Thanks, Joe. for
Thanks for having me, boys.
Yep, we've just gone over the 2-hour mark there, I think. So, congratulations.
It's a decent sitting, like.
Yeah.
But thanks, Joe, for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Not a problem.
Yeah, we appreciate it. So, what are we looking to do in the future then? Just back to Envious and back to Fenix as such, or?
See where roads take us, really.
Yeah.
If it ends up a project ends up a line that I think Joe could come in on, or Joe thinks we can help out on.
Definitely.
Alright. Thanks for watching, guys, and stay tuned for more things Envious and more things Fenix.